Hello, this is Jeff Badger, the Grinding Doc. This is a very short video on oil versus water. And you will hear quite frequently, people will say, hey, oil lubricates well, but water cools well, so they're both equally good. And that's just not quite the case. Now it is true, oil lubricates well, and it is true that water cools well because water has a higher thermal conductivity, but still lubrication is more important than cooling. In 99% of grinding operations, you can maybe make a case, and this is a maybe, where if you're doing creep feed grinding of Inconels, nickel alloys with a very long arc length and you're sucking out a lot of heat, then maybe you could say the water equals out to the oil. But even that's a bit of a stretch. But in terms of grinding performance, oil is almost always better than water. Now, oil has its own issues. It sometimes catches fire, it sometimes explodes, other issues like that. But in terms of grinding performance, you will do better with oil, simply because it just lubricates better, it wets better, it's a better lubricant. The rate of attritious wear, the rate of dulling is lower with oil than with water. And when we say water, we mean 100% neat oil, straight oil, 100%. Not oil emulsion in water, but 100% oil. So this is a chart given in Hitchner's book, Hitchner, Marinescu, Rowe, a couple others, and they have a very good book on grinding. And there is a chart that shows the relative performance. Now, how do you define performance? I'm a little bit iffy on that, how you define performance. Typically, people define it in terms of G ratio. I'm okay with that. I also like to throw in power heat generation, and I also like to throw in the rate of grit dulling as power and heat generation goes up. But still, we'll go with performance, however they want to define performance, probably G ratio and maybe something else. And we can take a look, and they say, hey, M2 to high-speed steel, oil is better than water. Now, emulsion's better than, emulsion meaning oil emulsion in water is just better than a light synthetic. But still oil is the best. M50 tool steel, high-speed steel, 16 times better. Now how you define that, you're not going to grind it 16 times the feed rate, but it is better than water-based coolants. T15 is a nasty to grind powder steel, and you will do somewhat better in oil. Now why not the huge difference? Because basically you're chewing through your wheel very quickly, you're eating it up, your wheel wear is high. So that whole grit dulling effect is not as pronounced because your wheel is wearing away very quickly. D2, a very nasty, unpleasant to grind steel with a lot of chromium in it. You're going to do a lot better in oil. 52-100, standard all-around steel. You'll do better with oil. 410 stainless steel, you'll do a hell of a lot better with oil than you will with water-based coolants. And emulsions, you'll even do pretty well. So when people say, hey, I'm grinding with stainless steel, they will say, hey, use an emulsion instead of synthetic. A bunch of reasons behind this. The chemical reaction between aluminum oxide and the chromium oxide, Cr2O3, Al2O3, is a big factor in there too, and oil will retard, slow down that chemical reaction. And then Inconels do a hell of a lot better than in oil too. And Inconels, you still use a lot of water-based coolants, and there's some reasons why that is. I'm not saying you should run out and switch to oil tomorrow, or I'm not even saying you should switch to oil at all, but in terms of grinding performance, oil does better than water. So this is one chart of many. You'll find a bunch of studies like this, charts. I get this question a lot in my courses, and I say in terms of grinding performance, you will do better with 100% neat oil than you will with water. Now, I've always qualified and say, hey, there's other issues. Disposal, health, rust, machine catching fire, machine blowing up, unpleasant things like that. But in terms of grinding performance, oil, 100% neat oil, you will do better than in water-based coolants. Jeff Badger, the Grinding Doc. This is all the stuff I teach in my course, and this is all the stuff that I give in the Book of Grinding.